Hello and welcome to this edition of Minstrels on the Block. This week's very special guest, Mr. Nova Izumi. Now, this man is an artist in many ways. He has a lot of different talents, and music is one of them. But we'll discuss those things. So, Nova, glad to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, tell me about yourself. Where were you born?
I was actually born in a whole other galaxy. It's the galaxy of Andromeda.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to go there.
It's pretty interesting. This is a little small planet. You know, it's I don't know. We don't have any ceilings. You know, no houses, nothing like that. We live in like the sky and stuff.
Cool. So, who are your parents? Hold on. Ford prefect.
I don't know if I have any parents.
So now, did you come from a musical background?
Kind of not. My mom, she's been a choir director, and she's been in choirs in churches and stuff and whatnot most of my life. Huh. And you know, so I was there around a lot of it, hearing her sing around the house and whatnot. And
cool.
I mean, I can't say that was real influence on me. It was kind of more like I saw music for myself and I wanted to approach it my way, kind of deal. But I mean, it's in the blood. I mean, pretty much everybody in my family is somewhat musically inclined. I mean, not as to the place that I'm at, but it's definitely there.
Right. What did your parents do?
My parents, my mom, she does secretary work, and she just started teaching vocal lessons, singing seamstress. But she does that, and she works at a church down here. And my mom and dad divorced. I don't know what my real dad does, but my stepdad, he works at like Total Systems or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So what does he do there?
I don't even know, really. I kind of like, I do my own thing, and
yeah, I totally understand.
I'm completely separate. There, I mean, I love my mom to death, but I'm in my whole own world. And she was really cool is that she accepts me for, you know, who I am, and I do my own thing, and she you know, has come to really respect that I do my own thing regardless of what anybody tells me otherwise. And you know, as long as I'm not out committing murders or something.
And ladies and gentlemen, is there really any other way to be? You have to be yourself regardless of what anybody tells you. Now, what got you interested in music? Now, you said that your mom did a lot of singing and stuff.
I wouldn't even say that I was interested in music. I feel like music chose me more so. It's almost like certain things that you love will choose you.
Yeah. And
you can either accept it or you can either decline. And usually when you end up declining, you end up being very miserable for the rest of your life until you decide to, you know, say, hey, I'm going to do this, you know. You know, I can't let myself do anything else other than what chose me. So it's one of those kind of things.
And when did you, at what age did you start? When did you get your first guitar?
I actually started playing. I didn't play guitar first. My first instrument was keyboard, and I had a very, very interesting time with starting out in music. My dad had this keyboard that he had. He used to dabble around with it, and I think I was about 7 or 6, and I picked it up and I started noodling around with it, trying to figure out different sounds. What's this sound do? And what's this sound do? And just, you know, getting in my head, what are these? What's this? What's this button do? And, you know, really just getting acquainted with things. And eventually my hands started getting quicker at it. And
wow.
I got, you know, developed it really well. And my dad heard me one day. He came downstairs, picked it up, smashed it And the really odd thing was, this is how I know that music has chosen me, is because every single time he did that, and then somebody else who had no clue whatsoever would just, would just be like, something told me to give you this keyboard. I had it sitting around for a while. It wouldn't be too long from then,
Wow.
So, and it probably happened through probably about 3 or 4 different keyboards. That same event happened. Just who broke it, and someone who had no clue gave me another keyboard. And then after that, when I was going to school, I had signed up for orchestra, and I chose to play upright bass, and of course I could not bring it home.
Right.
So what I would do is I would carry it to a friend's house and leave it over there, and practice. And when my dad wasn't home, I would take it home and practice with my mom. She was afraid, but she supported me through, whatnot. She'd make sure that my dad was gone so that I could be able to have it home and practice. Because you can imagine I think I was about 11 or 10 or 11. This little 11-year-old kid carrying this huge full-size upright bass. I mean, I was tall for my age, so I was pretty much exactly the same height. I hadn't grown since I was like 11, so. But you can imagine.
Yeah.
And people honking horns. I mean, I grew up in Columbus for most of my life. At that point, I lived in this is around where Rothschild and I think it was like Eastway Elementary, really kind of rough part of town, and I always got picked up because I've always been myself, my own eccentric self, and people, didn't really, especially the demographics there, weren't too happy about people who decided to just be themselves. So it was pretty interesting, but I'm really thankful for it though, because without that, I wouldn't be able to see things nearly the way that I see them now.
Right.
And nor would it come out in my art and my music, the soulfulness come out the way it is able to come out now, because of all that stuff that I went through.
Happy does not write good songs most of the time.
It can, I think. It just depends on the perspective of Happy.
Well, that's true. That's true. But certainly, when you've had somebody who's been through some little bit more difficult things, there's certainly a very marked passion in their stuff. The deep feelings, the intense feelings, I think, really come out. So you've had no formal training then?
I have. I went to, kind of upright bass.
Right.
That was a little bit, and I did that for about 7 years.
Wow.
And then I went to there's this Christian music college. I went to Christian music college to kind of throw off my family, but education's education. I went there for it was more for songwriting and production stuff, and also took some extra classes in media and creative writing and whatnot. So it gave me a good little gist of other things. I failed the college, but it was only because they had to throw in all the religious stuff, and that it was mostly all the religious classes. I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I came here for music, but I learned a lot with the music there. I didn't learn as much there as I did actually doing it and being out and about and touring with bands and just living it. There comes a whole nother world after that. Yeah. Living it's a big difference from school.
Oh yeah.
Now, when did you actually pick up the guitar? Because you're a phenomenal guitar player.
Thank you. I don't think so most of the time, but I can appreciate it when anyone else sees something. I picked up guitar probably when I was about 16 when I picked up the guitar. It was when I left my parents' house to go to Job Corps because I had to drop out of school because there was so much stuff going on with my parents that I had to leave, figure out some way, and the only way I could figure out to leave was, while still being like 16, was to drop out of school and go to Job Corps and try to see if I could get my GED and all that stuff.
Right.
And, maybe some kind of training of some sort. And, of course that fell through because, I did electrician work. That fell through because I really wasn't passionate about it. And I'm such a tedious person that all of my work, that every receptacle I would do was like perfectly, and I would have every single wire in there just like perfectly in alignment. Everything had to look exactly the same way, and I get compliments, like, wow, everything works amazingly and it looks so good, but it takes you way too long, and people need stuff done in this field. And I'm like, I didn't say anything. I was just kind of like
beautiful and extremely effective wiring, but not a lot of it done in a short period of time.
It's just pretty much as far as that field is. Mostly what they care about is getting it done.
Yeah.
It works. It's done. That's good.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, we're going to go ahead and go to one of Ty's songs. When we come back, some of his other activities that he does, and some of his music, and we'll be right back.
If I'm not the voice that you hear, know the fragrance you smell. At first sight's always terrified, but what we sense is true. Who are we? What are we? Who are we? If I'm not the body you're caressing, nor the lips I taste, if tangible means do not define, but what we sense is true. Who are we? What are we? Who are we? What are we? Do you ever think of the thought I create? Where it comes from? And if it's the brain, how does it begin? And who's the source? Where's the source? Who are we? What are we? Who are we? What are we?